Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is a Talkie Show, but today is Sunday, January 21st, 2024. I am joined by an Ollie Cat. There's Ollie Cat. Hello. How's Ollie Cat up there? Yes, I'm joined by Mr. Cat. He's up top. He's sleepy kitty on this day. He had his vet appointment yesterday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't bleed. I got him into the carrier because, of course, I'm the one who has to get him into the carrier. That's not something my mother's gonna do. It's far easier for me to do this than for her. So, yeah, got that done. They were quite busy at the office, the clinic yesterday. Very, very busy yesterday. It's weird. They only work half days on Saturdays, and they are closed Sundays, which, not the best of ideas as, like, a doctor in general to, like, try to get people to take off of work to bring their pets in to get their checkups. Not the greatest of ideas, to be completely honest. They should really be open on, like, full days on the weekends. But anyway, went in yesterday. They were busy. We had to wait like 20 minutes just to actually get in to the back to get his rabies shot. And they were just trying to go as quick as they could. We had a different vet than who saw Dolly last week. In fact, we hadn't had this particular person before. The vet we had last week had seen Ollie the previous year. So now she's seen each cat once. But the person we had for Ollie just was more interested in getting in and out, and that was it. No, not really much talking. Just checked and out. Check, shot, out. And yeah, he's fine. He's healthy. The only issue is that he weighs 14 pounds. Or like 6.3 some odd kilograms. He's a big boy. He's too big of a big boy. He needs to lose some weight. He needs to lose some weight. He's big boy. And yeah, that will be a little tough. Because he needs to eat less and he needs to be more active. We need him to run around more, especially compared to his sister, because they eat. We give them the same food, the same amount of food each. The issue that I am starting to resolve is that when Dolly finishes eating, she usually leaves a little bit behind. She usually leaves a little bit behind when she is finished, and she jumps down off the counter. We keep them separated at food time. Ollie's on the floor. Dolly jumps up on the kitchen counter in front of the sink and blocks the sink, but whatever. When she finishes, she jumps down, walks away. He is usually finished first and waits for her to leave, and then jumps up and eats what she leaves behind. If anything, usually she leaves a significant enough amount behind. So, really, he eats more. The complicating factor is that we do give them 24/7 access to dry food. So, even though I am resolving this by sticking around for when Dolly finishes eating to take away what she's left behind and toss what she's left behind, and if he leaves any behind, toss what he leaves behind, because we need to teach them that food time is that time and only that time, and once you go away from the food, you are done, and there's no going back to it later. We have to train that once they're done eating the wet food, they're done, and that's it, and that's all they're getting. That's step one, and only from their own bowl. The issue is that they have 24/7 to dry, so even if I do this, they may just end up eating more dry food. But one step at a time. One step at a time. So, that's the kitty update. That's the kitty update. The printing update. The printer is printing. It has begun its next mission over here. It has begun its next mission. What is this white crap on the build plate? It's glue. It's stick glue. There's a layer of the stick glue on the whole plate. Just more of it in the middle where I was printing. Sigh. Why did I need it? Why did I need it? I don't necessarily need it on this particular print. This particular print is a 10-slot Nintendo 64 tray holder. A 10-slot version of this design. This brand new design. Which you may notice there's more than one color here. There's more than one color here. So this is the 5-slot. What's printing is the 10-slot. What's printing is the 10-slot. So, why did I need glue? These letters. Can I just say that trying to print out letters that are even at this size sucks? It sucks so much. Both the physical trying to print them in the first place as well as getting them fitted in here. Yeah. After spending hours on the fitment issue yesterday evening, I discovered that the slicer program I've started using recently, called Orca Slicer, has a solution for this. Has an exact solution to this right here. Fitment. It has two settings that can resize holes and curves of your item on the build plate. You can adjust holes and curves up or down by very, very small amounts so that the fit can work correctly, meaning that all the effort that I put in to make the holes on this thing larger, to like cut out part of the N and the actual island part of this 6 and the 4, I removed those sections from the print because it wouldn't, fit well. And changing the thickness of the lettering was proving to be impossible in FreeCAD. Yeah, it's just a little box you can put a number in Orca Slicer. Two paired settings. So the idea would be I could have left these little islands on the 6 and the 4 and left the full shape of the N and just made the letters smaller or made the thickness of the letters smaller / the holes of the letters larger by 100 microns, 200 microns, fractions of a millimeter. Tiny fractions of a millimeter. Not even microns, I think, at that point. It's like I've made an adjustment of minus 0.02 millimeters. 0.02 millimeters. And with the Super Nintendo one, the letters fit great. It's so much better. In fact, it's so much better that it's a little bit too easy, I think, to pull these out. If I can do it with my fingers, then there's a chance that, yeah, if I can pull it out with my fingers, then there's a chance it could pop out in shipping. But it is easier to press them in to get them in at this point. So that's nice. There's blue. There's blue. So you see what I've done? You see in the shadows there what I've done for the S's? Like there's this cutout on the S's and the N and the E. There's little cutouts in there that yeah, I'm probably going to remove those now. I'm probably gonna remove those as you can see, because it's, dark shadow in there, and I don't really think I want that anymore. Because I don't need that anymore. Because I figured out a setting where I can, have the full shape now. Which means undoing a lot of work that I did that took a really long time to do. Wonderful. Don't think I'm going to do it to the N64 one, though. That may not be in the works, because, yeah, I've listed this one already. I listed the N64 tray. It's available. Also, for the privilege of having multiple colors, yeah, the cost is up a lot compared to the one that doesn't have the decoration. The decoration costs a lot of money. Because holy hell, that was a lot of work to figure out. And then I will be applying this to a lot of things. that I currently have, a lot of my existing listings, or my existing models, I will update. This SNES one, different slope from the N64 one. They're differently sloped, and the reason is that the SNES one is much larger, and yeah, see, with the 10 slot version, which should be consistent with the 5 slot version, we sort of want to have consistency, and it needs to fit on my build plate to actually be able to print it. It needs to fit on the build plate to print it, which I haven't even checked. I haven't even really checked yet if it actually fits. Here, I will bring up, because it sort of is like pretty close on the N64 one that's printing right now. What about the SNES 10? Okay, it does fit. It does fit, and it is slightly larger. It is slightly larger. Total length, than the N64 version. But yeah, there's not a lot of margin with the Super Nintendo 10 slot tray. For now, though, I'm just getting the 5 slot trays done, and next will be Genesis / Mega Drive. I'm undecided whether or not I want to have separate versions, Genesis, Mega Drive, or if I want one side to say Genesis and then the other side say Mega Drive. Because I could just have one item where one side says Genesis and the other side says Mega Drive. That's also a lot of letters. So, anyway, those are my thoughts and ideas and plans with my 3D printing stuff. Sales have not been that great this past week. This has been the slowest week of the month this past week. Unfortunately, fortunately, whatever. It doesn't matter. I've also got a tool that was supposed to arrive yesterday, but is arriving today, at least it should be, called a deburring tool, which will help to smooth out edges, especially on things that I need to print with brims. It will help with removing any remaining brim, / it will help with smoothing it so you don't, like, have a chance of getting cut by a snag on the bottom edges. That would be nice. That would be nice to make that a lot easier. But yeah, it got delayed in transit. I don't know how. On Amazon, their own delivery service, it got delayed. Just going from Ashland, Virginia, here to Norfolk, Virginia, like, not even a couple of hours there of a difference. Not even a couple of hours of a difference. And it took a whole day to get here. But it's here. The tracking has been updated. It's just delayed. We'll see if they decide to actually deliver it today, or if they're going to make me wait until tomorrow. The trucks don't go out usually until like 11, closer to 11, so we'll see if it goes out for delivery. Sounds like a Dremel tool. No, this is a manual static tool. The blade is hooked. It's like a hooked single edge blade that can swivel. It can swivel in its mount. So it will, when you put it onto the surface, it will chamfer the edges on its own without having to like do any manual adjustment yourself. It will rotate to the correct position on its own. So, and it's sharp enough and hard enough to cut metal as well as plastic. So it can cut on the inside of metal pipes to to smooth out rounded edges. So you don't cut yourself off of sharp metal edges and of holes and things. So that's really what it's intended for, but it's a type of tool that's seeing a lot more use with 3D printing as well to help with smoothing out bottom edges, in particular, the edges that are touching the build plate. So yeah, that's the updates there. Game. Factorio exists is a thing. I wonder how hard it's going to be to get that 10-slot tray off of the build plate with all of that glue on it. Can I just say that, well, I need the glue to be able to successfully print the letters, as I've discovered. The issue is that the glue works a little bit too well, and the letters are really small. So when removing the letters from the build plate, they have a tendency to fly great distances and bounce off of things and get lost. So yeah, gotta work on that a little bit, I think. Get some sort of a like place that I can scrape off these items that it's like covered, something that can catch them when they go flying, because there's really no stopping it from going flying. I just need to, you know, be covered and catch them when they fly. Oh boy. So, Factorio, what did we do last time? What are we doing today? How are we actually going to start the day today? Because I've just seen, when I went live today, announcement, updated again. So, doesn't matter, it's day 60. We've made it to 60 days thus far. Oh boy. Gonna quit. Go to the mod menu and look at the update notes, with bearing in mind that I'm not updating. I'm not updating for the remainder of the save. Reworked mounts. See PyCodex for more information. Wonderful. Thanks for telling me, Jackal, in your patch notes. Buff Falgi Path 3 no longer replaces Falgi raw coal recipes and lets you have both the raw coal and the activated carbon recipe. Oh yeah, they drop frames because, you know, loading happened, so it dropped frames. Fixed that antelopes had no blood. Fixed crash with loading older saves. Smoothing endgame difficulty spike. Snarer hearts removed from perfect samples. Replacing with Dingert spikes. Snarer hearts are the cosmic space Dingert item. If I'm not mistaken, that's the cosmic space Dingert item. Meaning that they've changed it so that you don't need to do the cosmic space Dingerts going into Pi 4. Which, that's fine. There's a whole lot of other issues with Pi 4, but with the amount of effort that it takes to get through Pi 4, but all right, sure, we'll take what we can get. Added to utility science. Kevlar removed, so the snare hearts just replaces utility science's Kevlar requirement. That's fine. Figured they had to move it somewhere. Oh, so it... By needing to launch for the Cosmic Space Stingrates to get the snare hearts, you needed intelligent units? You're saying that in the process of getting the Cosmic Space Stingrates, it needs intelligent units, so removing that means that you don't necessarily need to get into the intelligent units for that step until utility science. The issue with that, though, is you have to make intelligent units to get into beacons. And you are going to do that 100% of the time before Pi 4. Therein lies the like, quote-unquote issue. Is, if the intent of this was to make it so that you don't need intelligent units to get into Pi 4, great, but you're still going to do it anyway because beacons. So it's a change without a like actual impact. Fix that comment poster path did not work. Fix stack inserters have been deleted. Remove stack filter inserters from path to recipe. So this is preparing for 2.0 where they are actually removing the filter inserters and adding filter functionality to all inserters. And fixed this, produced 2 temperature user. Oh, great, wonderful. So that's alien life, alternative energy. Fixed some errors, fixed issue. Changed steel furnace energy source to fluid fuel, renamed to gas furnace. That happened last time, so this may not have updated. I remember that. You from the 19th, a few changes. If a few changes, they haven't done anything with the state. Fixed crash, made inserter migration work, etc. Remove filter inserters, etc. Beacon. Info. The following 2 changes are toggleable in the mod settings. Change the beacon interference criteria from requiring the exact same frequencies to requiring either overlapping AM or FM. Reduces the max number of entities to 5. Nerfed the full-size beacon efficiency from 0.5 to 0.2. So instead of being 5x diet beacons, they're 2x diet beacons. This is an insane nerf. If 2 beacons interfere on a single entity, it will only disable that entity instead of disabling the entire beacon. Well, that's nice. Fix that you could stack 25 diet beacons with 25 regular beacons for 50 total. I pointed this out how long ago, and it's now being fixed? I pointed this out when they were introduced in the first instance, like from the start, my previous save. I'm pretty sure I showed this as a thing, and now you're fixing it? Sure. Fine. Alright. Well, whatever. As I mentioned, I'm not updating in this save. I'm not going to be doing these applying these updates for the remainder of the playthrough. Because honestly, we are pretty close to finishing the game. In the grand scheme of the save, we are in the last quarter, or at the very least, last third of the save. So it's not going to be worth the effort changing and literally breaking my entire fucking base with these changes. Fix some crash stuffs, added spillage event to be more dramatic, etc. Just stuff with tailings ponds, as if you're ever actually going to use them. Okay. Fusion. Has Fusion updated? No. Has high tech updated? Yes. Fix sulfur processing tech, unlocking twice. Industry, not really. Adjusted. Petroleum handling stuff, unlocking twice. Added a space science Tholen recipe to obtain tritium without fusion. Okay. Post-processing. Capped animation speed of all mining drills to stop from spazzing out. Yeah, sure, fine. Raw ores, updated tech name locale. Whatever. So that was the bulk of it. A lot of nerfs to beacons, which they say in the settings you can change. So bear that in mind. It said here that not in alternative energy, under who was it? Which one? High coal. Right down here. They said that this was toggleable in mod settings. 2 changes, and I would say that 100% of the time you will want to revert this. Like these 2 things will definitely need to be reverted for any existing saves. And honestly, why was this a problem? I just want to, like, truly ask, why is this an issue? This is not an issue. Like, again, a lot of the things that have been like updated here are actively making the experience less fun, and that has just been a general theme of changes to the Pi suite over time, is making the experience less fun for everyone. So, okay, enjoy the even fewer people who want to actually experience the mod pack, then. Have fun with less people. Great. I want as many people as possible to experience the mod, and that's not going to happen when you keep making the mod less fun by getting rid of all the actually interesting stuff. Anyway, last time we met, we got into the biofets, which also means that we now have intelligent units. Today, we are going to be working on getting into full-sized beacons. We're not going to get them today. There's a bit too much work, I think, that needs to be done in order to get them. There's a chance, there's always a chance that it could happen, but I have my doubts. In order to get into full-size beacons, we're going to need to set up several factories, including hyaline, resilin, collagen, hyperelastic material, harmonic absorbers, time crystals, optical parametric oscillators, metastable quasi-crystals, cryo-coolers, magnetic rings, CZTS plates, otherwise known as copper, zinc, tin, sulfur plates, and superconducting claw pole engines, which this will be a big build. This is a big boy build that will take some time to complete, and it requires some things, maybe, that I haven't yet broken down that need to be on the network. We shall see. Oh boy, and of course I need to, in the mall, build the tower 1, 2, 3, and 4, of which I should have the 1 and 2. I will need to set tower 3 and 4 to craft. I also need a building, a fusion reactor, a Pi alternative energy fusion thingy. So I've set that up already to build. And it is building. I do have the stuff for that. I have them. Fusion reactors. I need that for time crystals. Oh boy. Where be thing? Here be thing. Tower. Mark 3. And Tower Mark 4. The Tower Mark 3 needs these things that need to be brought in. And you need that. There's no such thing as too much speed. Even at the cap, it can go it should go faster. I don't even think that cap should exist. They need to assign more memory. Assign more memory to that setting. But yeah, that is not a valid argument. Just full stop. That's just stupid. No, it is just wrong to say that hitting the speed cap is too much. There's no such thing as too much. Especially in a very performance-sensitive mod like this. There's no such thing as too much for speed. Aluminium, silver, alloy, and all of that. Moss tile. The day that they completely rebalance the mod to no longer have performance issues is the day that you can say that 65,000% speed is too much. But that's not going to happen. Tile. Excuse me. Okay, so those two are coming. What else do I need brought in? Well, a good, like, over 1,000 hours of this was just waiting in the beginning of the game for stuff to happen that is specific to PyBlock. So do keep that in mind. This just would need those hyperelastic and harmonic, and that's on the agenda. All right. You just need that delivery, and you're good. All right, we're good on towers. Oh, and then I guess the other thing here with fat beacons, I wasn't looking specifically, but I do need to bring in our 4 solution for this, and I do have that provided on the train network already. All right. Beginning with Highline. Have I put the tendons on the network? No. That is step 1. Yes, here. What was my completion time of the Pi Alternative Energy playthrough? The previous save? It was over 1,000, yeah? Was it? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the previous Alien Life. You can get over 700 hours. For sure. But then there are also people who speedrun the game. Pi. Yes, these words spoken in the same sentence. Speedrun and Pi. There are those who try. Pretty sure it's not speedrunning full game completion, but getting specific milestones. Oh, you don't even have skin. Huh. Right. Whatever, we'll leave it. 1250-ish. So yeah. Yeah. Now, I wasn't playing particularly efficiently with time in mind, but still, that playthrough had the regular beacons, as they exist at their current strength, before this nerf. And the save took that long. And at the very end, I did do additional shenanigans to just get through the last tech, you know? Because that last tech is a little annoying on cost and time. So I use Bob's modules. And I made it so that stuff was, you know, even stronger, like super strong, for the very, very end. And it was already over 1,000 hours in when I did that, right? So, yeah. You don't get to complain about the strength of these modules when the save still takes 1,000 hours plus to beat. That is not a valid argument. I would say that the issue is that they're not strong enough. When even with it, it still takes over 1,000 hours. Restocking briefly. Then we get to build our new factory for Hyaline. This needs a fluid. Fatty acids. I need to break that down to oleochems. Right, where are we building? I don't even know. Did we even end up with extra spots? That were already built? I don't think so. I think we built everything and used everything, yeah, for the biofets up there last time, so we're building these. It is not that. That is not the screen I wanted. What is the biggest thing here? Well, Circuit Network is actually using a fair bit of stuff. Entity update, yes, is pretty high. Pretty sure it's not the deadlocks, though. Do they separate out a recipe update? Or is that just included under entity? I mean, definitely, entities using the furnace mechanic, such as the belt boxes, do have a bigger impact than recipe-based entities, performance-wise. Yes, it's dumb that the things that are supposed to be dumb are actually incredibly intelligent. and use a lot of processing power. Still, I'm pretty sure that that's not the biggest offender. How many do I have, even? It won't show up in this list. This is only power-consuming stuff. Like, I have 1,400 radars. I ran a command to delete all of the radars in the base. And all the radars with all the radar mechanics. Deleted. You know what effect it had on my FPS? Zip. No, I think those 2,100 soil extractors, 1,300 washers to go with them, all those DDCs, these thousands of full-size buildings operating, that are operating stuff that's operating, those play a much bigger part to the performance losses. Like, it's just the sheer scale of things. Oh, right. Duh. Why did I not? Collagen comes first. Psi. The psi. Collagen. I might already be making collagen somewhere, but it needs its own factory. Now, while I would say that I eventually will not need the deadlock stacking anymore, yeah, devs are not that great of people for balance. What is my complaint my point that I'm trying to make here without being obnoxious about it? The devs have put the stacking stuff really, really late into the game, so even though a similar mechanic is coming, it's not going to be available at the point in which it's needed, in particular for modded saves. So unless it's brought up a lot sooner for modded saves, I don't see how I will be not using deadlock stacking, even though we're going to have a similar mechanic in 2.0, from 2.0. Because it's just an unfortunate habit in game development to put good stuff, useful things, at the very end of the game, where they're mostly irrelevant. Or only relevant for an exceedingly short period of time, where you can't actually enjoy them. You know, it would help if my personal locomotive wasn't blocking all of the traffic. Now, if they are going to add it to anything but the last planet that you need the other 3 to unlock, guarantee that that's going to be the first place I go, is to whatever planet unlocks the, like, stacking inserter. Which is going to be called the stack inserter, by the way. That was the update at the very end of the Friday Facts this week. Was they were like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, you know those bulk inserters we talked about last week? Yeah, we're going to be calling them stack inserters now, and all the existing stack inserters are going to be called bulk inserters. From my understanding of the mechanics, you are able to unlock any of the 3 and go to any of the 3 in any order you so desire before you get to the last one. Only the last one will require that you go to all 3 of the previous ones. The 3 of them appeared in the screenshot of the tech tree that they provided early on. The 3 planets appeared to be unlockable in parallel. So you are able to pick your order. Which is actually good design. That is a good decision. That is good. That adds some replayability. That adds decision making and replayability options by being able to pick your order. Now, if they change that before the release so that it's no longer viable, or if it's just exceedingly clear that there is actually just one order to go through every time because it's the most efficient way of doing things and it's the only efficient way of doing things, then there's a problem. Yeah, as long as there's like a genuine choice between which one to go to first, like whatever order you want to go in, that's great. That's great design. I'm just placing these so I don't have to later, because we're going to be needing a few additional locations here for factories. So what was the Friday Facts? What was that again? Assembler flipping and circuit controls. Now, I don't really give a shit about the circuit control stuff. You can use circuits to change the recipe on a building. Woohoo! As if that has a point. As if the normal player is going to be using infinity number of circuit things to make exceedingly complex logic happen. As if that any percentage greater than one of your entire player base is going to ever make use of that mechanic. Great. It's there now, I guess. The more interesting thing is that they are making building flipping a vanilla mechanic, which is an absolute game changer. Having that be a vanilla mechanic is fantastic. That being said, they did have very important caveats that the building needs to be symmetrical. It needs symmetry in order to be flippable. And my immediate thought went to a lot of high buildings. Imagine being able to flip something like this. Oh, it'll be glorious for longer lines of things. And they legitimately showed like the one major use case in the vanilla game for oil refining, where flipping actually really comes in handy, and that's to have the vanilla oil refineries directly across from each other with a 3-tile gap, one for each output between them. That was the very first vanilla application that my mind went to, and they showed it in the thing, in the update. And it's like, yes, that is the very first thing that came to mind. Of course, it also applies to the vanilla chemical plant as well, and builds involving the vanilla chemical plant with inputs and outputs of fluids there. Yeah, it's just great in general to be able to flip the buildings on demand. And not have them be separate entities entirely. Oh, that's gonna like be a major change for Newlius that I can see, because Newlius has a whole bunch of built-in buildings with a whole system of going between each one. Great, my thingy will arrive today. I guess it's out for delivery. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, I do not want special offers and product news, thanks. My phone just was like, accept our new terms and conditions. And also push this button to get everything, which includes a whole bunch of optional stuff that's like, no, 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 no. Bone. Bony bones. Chitin. Tendon. Collagen. All right. That will be the high line. and it should just move. As soon as I get my... Oh. Have I done goofed? Yes, I have done goofed. I was off by a tile on those output loaders. Those unloaders. There's the high line. It's alive! It's moving. It's moving. Glorious. Next. Resilin. Pretty sure I have not made resilin yet. I have not. Resilin is important. Oh, I built it there. I was supposed to be here, building here. Oh boy. So I'm going across and building resilin here. Why not? It's nearby. You need 1 fluid and 4 solids, just like the other one. So resilin is used for a biofilm recipe that is significantly efficient. It's also needed for nanochondria, NEMS, and the hyperelastic material. Now we're making the hyperelastic material first. We will need to make NEMS at some point. I will need nanoenzymes to get into PyScience for, and that means MOVA. That means MOVA. Smart farming and xenos. Eggs. The xeno eggs. I don't need to worry about either the Mukmo or the xenos, for that matter. But, yeah, I will need a large-ish setup for the eggs. The meat is stacked here. Meat. Melamine. Fine. Zinc nano compound. Aerogel. Alien bacteria. I said alien bacteria. Locomotive. Batteries. Resilin. Gee, wouldn't it be great if there was a copy button here? Like, a majority of circumstances, I'm going to have both of these be the same icon. In 99.9% of circumstances, I'm going to want both of these to be the same icon. So why can't I assign one and copy to the other slot? In the defining of the priorities. Like we can do that here. There's a button here, copy for this. Why do we not have that button here? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because this particular window does not refresh all that often. You need to like close the window for it to refresh. It like they try to make this mod not use that much performance, so there's not as much refreshing going on of these particular windows. So I still think it needs to have that copy function, and it needs a search. And it needs a search. We need to be able to search. Hyperelastic material is next. Oh boy. Do I even have bone meal? Yes, I do. Good. Good, 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 good. How is the print doing? 65% done. With about 17 minutes left. It looks okay thus far to me. At a whole 3 frames per second. Okay, this does not need fluid. I don't think anything is stacked. Would also be nice. Is this a setting in the vanilla game? Can I just open this window and just have search open from the get-go? Could I like just have the search open from the get-go? That would be great. That would actually be pretty nice. To just have it open from the start. So I can just start typing. Really, I didn't define my highline? That would save me so much time in the long run. What? Did I miss? Collagen. So that's hyperelastic material. We'll need a bit of it. So it's a good thing we'll be making a bit of it. Ideally. That was a milestone. Oh boy. It used to be a major milestone. Along with harmonic absorbers and, you know, the other stuff for more advanced science. Next up, gotta build these. Harmonic absorbers are next. And yes, even with the absurd productivity here, it's still using a lot of carbon fiber. As I hit my microphone. Oops. Oh boy, I need to put the... Yeah, because the game occasionally culls old demolition requests for whatever reason. I don't understand. Why must we do this? Like, you'll leave regular blueprints up forever, but demolition requests? No, we can't have that. We can't have those exist forever. Blueprint ghosts, yeah, they'll exist forever, unless it's also a demolition request. No, those need to time out. For performance reasons. As if that actually matters. Seven solid input. Super alloy is stacked. If I find a non-conductive phasogen ingredient, I will need to make that. It's odd because I made denatured seismite before a dedicated non-conductive phasogen. I do have them at denatured seismite, but it would just complicate things. I would need to, like, add voiding of denatured seismite when it's in overabundance compared to the non-conductive phasogen. My locomotive is blocking traffic again. Alright, harmonic absorbers. I could use some of those on my 3D printer. That would be great. That would actually be great if we could absorb some harmonics. Time crystals. Need optical parametric oscillators. Optical parametric oscillators can just get made from existing materials on the train network. Does this return YAG laser modules? It does not. Okay. We do not need a fluid. We need 9 solids. Okay. Mr. Optical Parametric Oscillator, which is another one of those items I consider a milestone item. At least I used to. This was one of the main end game items. At least utility phase items. Like optical parametric oscillators used in utility science, as well as nitrogen vacancy centers for space science. And apparently now beacons and time crystals for metastable quasi crystals for beacons. And apparently exoskeletons and for, you know, high-tech bots. And superior floating locomotives and satellites and Mark IV crap and things. Yeah, and antelope enclosures. Yeah, those things. I'll need these things. I need those things. Yes, those things are good things. I need those things. Optical set. Not the rocket control unit, just the control unit. Just a generic control unit, not the rocket control unit. Milfy, yet again. This Milfy is needed a lot. Nanofibrils. Lithium niobate. Printed circuit substrate tier 4. Paramagnetic material. YAG laser modules, and regular old-fashioned steel. Alright, that is optical parametric oscillators. There are locomotives on the way for every single one of these. It seems, though, that a lot of them are these older diesel locomotives. They will all get replaced with superior floating locomotives auto-magically. Oh boy, that is one of the next things that I am looking forward to seeing in the Friday facts. I would absolutely love to see additional faster locomotive, like an additional faster locomotive being added to the game. I would love to have a vanilla tiered locomotive with a mechanic that automatically upgrades to that locomotive as part of the vanilla game. Just have something that makes it easy to upgrade. Or, upgrade in place of existing locomotives to more advanced locomotives. Make them upgradable and have an upgraded locomotive. That would be fantastic to have as part of the, vanilla experience. We have made an OPO. There they go. There they go. They're so beautiful. Okay. I'm going to build out the rail here for the next two, but I am going to need to go and restock quite shortly. And we are just about at the time for the break, which means that the print should be finished by now. Huzzah, it's done. I'm not sure with the Super Nintendo one if I'm going to modify it to remove some of those blocky elements that I had done, because the fit is a little bit too loose on the S's in particular. But that, I don't know. I think I'm going to remove it. Remove the blocks. I think I will remove the blockiness for the Super Nintendo one, or remove the block cutouts on the lettering on the item itself, so that the holes exact match the lettering, because the adjustment I made to the lettering file for the print makes it fit better. So that's something. All right, locomotive, come to me. I'm not going to do the other side, just this one. Next up is time crystals. And we will do that when I come back from my break, once we have restocked. We have reached the break time. We are at the moment still halfway through today's stream. I'm going to step away for just a few minutes. I will be back shortly. And I have returned with the print. The print! The 10-slot thingy. And Ollie. Hello. Hello, baby. So, printed okay. Printed successfully, from what I can tell. Quite stringy, though, lately. Yeah, my printer, I think, may need a new nozzle, or I need to do something, some sort of maintenance around, like, regarding the nozzle. It really shouldn't be having trouble. It is a bimetallic nozzle that should have an extremely long life. There's something going on. I'm not quite getting the performance I was at the start. And just odd stringing, lots and lots of stringing on my prints. Little hairs, lots of hairs everywhere that I wasn't getting before. Little odd. But there is one downside that I've immediately noticed of using glue on the build plate, and that is ugly as all sin. So I need to figure out how we're going to get glue residue off the bottom of the prints that I'm supposed to be selling. Because I don't know about you, but if I got this in the mail and paid a whole bunch of money for something that for this and saw that the bottom was like that, I wouldn't exactly be too thrilled about that concept. So while I understand that that's not an issue on white prints, or maybe not even on the gray prints, on the black and the red and the blue, I'm gonna have to do something about getting this this residue off of this plastic. Certainly it can scrape away, but maybe I'll have to look up the methods of getting this off, because, you know, it's made this nice little impression of the SNES letters as well on the bottom of my lettering that I was printing out before. It's got, I see the E there, I see the N there. Yeah, the SNES lettering is clearly present. I need to get that cleaned off. But yeah, anyway, before I have to worry about that so much, though, looks like it could definitely use some deburring, which is why I'm glad that it's out for delivery. Yeah, goodness, it's as if as well, maybe it's not actually getting to the temperature that I'm setting it to. Maybe I have to set it a little bit higher, because that would explain some of the stringing, perhaps. Maybe the probe is reporting the wrong temperature. Maybe it's a little bit off. Anyways, enough of that. Back into the game. Not going to start a new print at this point, unless I want to make more black letters for SNES. I don't think I do at the moment. And I wanted to make changes to the thingies, so we're just gonna hide that for a while. For a while, Mr. Cat left me. Mr. Ollie Cat left me. Where's Ollie Cat? Where's Ollie? But this is good enough if I don't take pictures of the bottom, where I can at least use this to get photographs with all the color combinations of the letters, which, you know, letters, baggie of letters for N64. Yeah, nice little baggie full of letters. All right, restocking. There he is. There he is. Hello. Hello, Ollie. Ollie Wally, Ollie cat. Hello, Ollie cat. Oh, that's my Ollie cat. Hello. Hello, Ollie cat. There's the Ollie cat. Yes, he's a good boy. He's a big boy. Yeah. He's the big boy. He's the big boy. Yes, he's the big boy. He's that 14-pound kitty. He's 14 pounds. Yes, he is. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. There's a big kitty. He's a big boy. Yeah. You're the big boy. You got the big belly. You got a big belly. Yes, we need to get you to have a smaller belly. We need you to have smaller belly. We don't want you having diabetes. We don't want to have to give you a shot every day. We don't want to have to give you shots. That's not going to be fun for anyone. Alright, back we go. Over. Yeah. Over yonder. Yeah, big Ollie cat. Where's your sister? Where'd she set herself up? Where did Dolly set up? Huh? So of course on Saturday, she knew what was up, like, immediately. And she went hiding, ran away. He also sort of was, like, questionable. He was about to hide. Like, the moment I had the carrier out on the couch, the moment I opened the door of the carrier, the front gate, they ran. Like, once I opened it, they knew something was up. They knew he came in here, but I was able to coax him, get him off his little shelf he was hiding on. Coaxed him out, picked him up. He was a little squirmy. But he stayed. I kept him in my arms. He was feeling okay. Say, fish in my arms, and I got him in. I put him in backwards, back end first. Just pushed him inside, shut the door. And that was a lot easier than in the past. And then it was meow 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 the whole way to the vet office. And as soon as we go inside, silence. Silence until the visit was done. Silence while waiting for checkout. The moment we step outside the door, meow, meow, meow. The moment we step out, it's like, really? Really? Really, cat? Really, really? Diamonds! Optical parametric oscillators! And YAG laser modules. Oh, do these cycle? Yes. Yes, they do. Oh, and is this the one? This might be the one that that it was affecting, that productivity was affecting. I think that this might have been the one that productivity was affecting. in the previous save. Anyway, do I even want any of these? Nah. Not defined. Cat hath left. Alright, Yag. It's going there. Well, eventually it will bring me a delivery and I'll know whether or not this is being affected by productivity, unless I happen to have on me a couple of YAG laser modules, in which case then I can just test this now. Although I don't think I do. I'm gonna go on a limb and say, no, I don't. Alright. I'll just grab that stuff, and now I know that I have YAG laser modules somewhere in my inventory. There you are. Alright. Okay, it is plainly and blatantly obvious that it is not overproducing, that it is not affected by activity. Okay, good to know. Oh, very good to know. Alright. We will then use our time crystals in the creation of meta-stable quasi-crystals. The one thing I didn't check here, I'm pretty sure I do have... Oh yeah, and I didn't break down quasi-crystals either. Quasi are only needed for this, yes. We need the quasi-crystals, which that's all stuff I should have on the network. How about simic scales? not on the thing? I know I've made Simic scales. I haven't? Oh boy. Sure. Alright, this means that there's even more factories that I need to make before doing this. Because actually, Simic scales are a result of an upgraded Simic, slaughtering an upgraded Simic. So we need to be able to make the item that we need to do the upgrade. Fortunately, this is in a slaughtering house, so I don't have to worry about that. So we need Rika. We need Rika. R-E-C-A. This, yeah, getting the improved dudes. Ideally, also, we would have the growth factor and the antivirals. So, oh boy. Rika, growth factor, antivirals. Okay. How much work are we going to have to do to get into each of these? Is the question of the day. How much effort are we going to have to go through? We have to do this anyway to get into perfect samples, to get into the PyScience 4. So this stuff we need to do regardless. It's just doing it now versus doing it later. So yeah, adding even more things to do before getting beacons. So Rika, 2 options, one of which uses denatured size mining, increases the output. That's whatever, that's fine. Do I have all of these things available on the train network right now? I think the answer to that question is yes. Actually, fetal is not on the train network, so I will need to put fetal serum on the train network. I know I'm making fetal serum, at least somewhere. It's in my mall. Great, so yes, I do need a fetal serum factory that's dedicated to fetal serum. From silver and guts and glassware. All right, so that would solve Rika. Growth factor. We already have the resveratrol, by the way. There's non-conductive phasogens if I wanted more, but I'm going to say nah on that. We'll do the basic. That needs pineal glands, which I have, and I should have all of that. So growth factor's fine. Antivirals. We could add solidified sarcoris and paragen. I'm going to say nope to that. We've got all of this slash the ability. Search venom. Not on the network, but I have Archots on the network, so we can get the venom by slaughtering those. How about yes, I do have that. So we just need to make the venom from Archots productively. Choose an unrestricted item. Titan. Yeah, this is not bad. This is fine. This be fine. 46 civic dens, though, not so fine. Not so fine. Civic dens are big. Really, 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 really big. Ugh. Erg. Arg. Well, just I have to be happy knowing that full-size beacons are better and stack with regular diet beacons in the current state. All right, we're starting with fetal serum. Where do I have a fluid? Mustard. I could local guts, but nah. I will need more on the network, though, imminently. Because that's a lot all in one go. Why did I was going to do guts, not glassware, but oh well. Alright. Well, that could make a bit. Here come the locomotives. Full of stuffs in their trains. And there's the fetal serum. 3K. Ta-da. Oh boy, that's a bit more rail to have to build. Place. At least I know it won't be completely blocking traffic as long as I place this full intersection. Next up is Rika. We'll do that first. I'm going to be using some of our alien enzymes for this, as well as the greatest of alien samples. And GTA. It's a good thing we've made that, huh? Good thing we had to go out of our way to get GTA as part of BioFets. I think the next base I make, I'm not going to use those giant intersections. I'm going to have the spacing for them, but I don't think I'm going to use them until it is obvious that I need to upgrade the intersection to use them. I just have to be very mindful of the spacing, because I would have to avoid building in those, in the corners. I would have to avoid building in the corners to have enough space. Just because it takes a really long time to place the rail for those larger intersections. Especially when the majority of them are not necessary. Now, of course, things like the mall entrance and maybe even the intersections that lead to the mall entrance, those should be the bigger ones. That's where most of the locomotive throughput, the train throughput's going to be going through. But yeah, for most of the others, I don't see a reason to have them be pre-built that large. Nine. Nine and bones are stacked. Whoopsies. All right, you. Get thine ass over here. Novens. Adrenal cortices. Cysteine. The greatest of alien samples. Alien enzymes. Denatured seismite is not on its way. Oh, joy, oh bliss. The only difference here is whether or not it has denatured seismite, huh? Alright, then maybe not. Maybe not. Laboratory instruments. And glassware. And GTA. And fetal serum, which I need to define. Oh boy, that was close. That was a little close. Hmm. Alrighty. Recombinant erythropoietin? I think that's what that means. It's Rika. And it's moving. No, I don't know what the A means. There's another thing that's erythropoietin, not this, and that starts with E, not A. Circuit condition. Next. Growth factor. Thou shalt grow. 7 solids. And a fluid. Because of course there's a fluid. Anything stacked? I don't think so. Oh. Pineal glands, yeah. That is plasmids. cDNA. Biosamples. Petri is stacked. Laboratory instruments again, glassware again, and alien enzymes. Not enzymes, bacteria. Big difference. Order of magnitude size difference. Multiple orders of magnitude size difference. You know, that would help. Yeah, I'm gonna immediately move over here and place that because that's exceedingly important. Yeah, we need productive Rika. We must be productive, extra super duper productive at all times. And fast, of course. That helps too. All trees must die. Go, my minions! Let there be growth factor. Let there be growth factor. Just add cDNA. We'll be good. I remember the days when recipes involving growth factor and resveratrol were very significant upgrades across the board for, you know, egg stuff, hatching, raising of pups. Antivirals are next. This will need some stuff. Autosave is autosaving. Oh yeah, so remember how I said I bought and I've been playing that Factory Town Idol game? I beat it. I sort of beat it already. That was it quite quick to get through that game, which is not a bad thing. Which is not bad, but is actually a result of the developer over-tuning things quite a bit, as it turns out. They're planning on slowing down the progress again. They apparently overcorrected the game being too slow, so yeah. Yeah, apparently it used to take well over a month to clear everything in Factory Town Idle, well over a month. But yeah, when they've done updates over time, I guess for around release, it got to the point where you could beat it in a matter of days, less than a week. And by beat it, I mean I got to the victory quest achievement, which is to get a town to level 50 of your 8 towns that you get access to in each save. You get a town to level 50 and you get victory. And then there is another achievement for getting all 8 towns to level 50, which I have also done at this point. In fact, I have done every achievement except for 3, one of which requires 100 hours of idle time. So I think I just get that as soon as I log back in again after it like crosses 100 hours of like the off-screen time. I think the like idle coin, the coin generation for 100 hours. Then the other 2 is 7-day-old town and 30-day-old town, which just counts calendar days, so, and you don't even have to like open the game for that many days. It just has to be that much time has passed. So in 30 days, I will have every achievement in the game. Alright, that's cool. It's cool. I do need a fluid for this. I need Zogna. I need Zogna and chitin and Arcod and MMPs and cysteine and alien enzymes and brains and nano carriers. And I will need to go to my mall to pick up Simic which I should have Mark IIs. Should being the key word there. Sorry, did I skip a spot? I skipped a station. Brains! We need brains. We need the brains for this operation. Must have more brainage. And then this is Zogna. Bring me my Zog. And we are making simic scale. Not yet. We're making antivirals. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. There is Cat. Hello, Mr. Ollie Cat. He's trying to get onto my lap, but lap is closed for business for the moment, Mr. Cat. I know. I know it's cold. I understand it is cold. My hands are cold right now. I can feel it. The heater needs to come on really quickly if it's not already. Oh boy. Not like it gets into this room all that much. That's been the problem with this office, is that it's like at the very end of the vent line, and so it gets the weakest of the heating and cooling system. The air pressure is non-existent in this room, which sucks. There's like nothing that gets here. We need a we could use a vent fan to keep pushing the air. I think we could use one of those. It would be great. I know they exist. No, this is out of spite. I must bacon that's like pure spite. That must be productive at all levels. Oh yes, and I need a solid fuel. I cannot forget. Must not forget. My solid fuel for voiding. We must void. Everything is... We're number one. We're number one. Number one. Just a few of these. I should stack the stuff, but whatever. Special delivery. Just add chitin. Where's my chitin? Where's my chitin, bro? The one that's going onto the network. Oh. Oh. Right. That should be scaled a bit, maybe. Gotta replace those modules with updated modules. But that's antivirals. I'll limit the thing. Okay. We will be building this here, but I do need to get the Simic Den stuff on me. I need to actually have Simic Dens, so we're going back to the mall. Yeah, baby. What to talk about? That's a great question. I don't even know. I don't even know what to talk about anymore. We're just getting through it. We're working on getting into these Simic scales so that I can then have the meta-stable quasi-crystals, which will be one of the many things that we need to get into the beacons. We only need like 4 more factories before the beacons happen once I get the Simic scales. Well, 5, including the metastable quasi crystals. So yeah, we are here now. We need to get 5 more plus this, and then we'll have everything that we need to get into the full-size beacons. And we'll be at a point where it will be slightly easier to get into perfect samples, but also not. Because I do need, all of the other items, most, if not all of the other of the specialty items for upgrading creatures. And I need to see what I need for Pi 4. Because I know I need MOVA at some point here. Like, no matter what, I need this MOVA Pulp 3. I do need the Phasogen, so we will need a factory for that. And nano enzymes need MOVA. So I'll have everything, but non-conductive Phasogen, perfect samples, and nano enzymes. Sorry, nano whatever they're called. Oh, nanozymes. Nanozymes. They're nanozymes, not nanoenzymes, nanozymes. Okay, sure. And that needs MOVA peroxidase assay, which are only used for these. Which needs crude enzymes that are only used for these, pre-enzymes only used for that, and then MOVA pulp 3, so, and buffer solution, but whatever. Which is only used for that. Guaiacol is only used for that. Down and down that chain it goes. That. Right, that's down that chain. MOVA pulp 3. MOVA pulp 32. 3. MOVA pulp 3. 3000, whatever. Needs that. Needs that. Needs that. Needs clean. The cleanest of MOVA plants. So, the smart farms. These recipes exist exclusively to, like, have something to put into the factory planner. They are roughly the same recipes as what the smart farms use. I see no reason why not to do the most advanced available recipe to get the highest output. We do not need speed modules for those, but they won't accept productivity modules. That's fine. They won't do anything anyway, so there's that. But we do need to add the special replicator, an amount of the replicator, and the stuff to make them. All of the stuff to make them. Do I have ammonium sulfate? No. Sorry, that was nitrate, not sulfate, of which I have neither. Only used for that. Okay, but it's also used in the crude enzyme, so that'll be a factory. A factory that is separate and has to be done before MOBA. Non-conductive phasogen. A unit. Simic blood. Great. At least I know I've got that. I have all these things. I do need to scale those at some point. And then perfect samples, just so that we have the plan. Yeah, a few things. There's a scroll bar. There's a scroll bar here. And that just about a B. Oh, I don't need the tendons or the glands broken down. Yeah. We need some upgrades. So we need anti-tumors, anabolic RNA, nanochondria, Rika, cosmic space dingret, which, you know, that's a few things. It needs a Rika dingret and a spacesuit. Boogers. What uses circuit force as part of the snarers? I don't see anything using circuit force for snarers. Recombinant erythropoietin as well. Yeah, so lots of crap. Lots of crap. There's a lot of stuff here. This is perfect samples, and this is the boss of Pi 4. The boss of Pi 4 is these perfect samples. Yeah, this is the boss of this tech. After MOBA and nanoenzymes, MOBA 4 nanoenzymes, and all the other stuff, that is the final boss. For now, though, Simic. I need to make Simic dens. Do I have a spot making the Simic dens? I do. I need to make Mark II Simic dens. Do I have access to Mark III? Unlocked? No. That is utility science to get the third Simic den. And then space science must exist already to get the Mark IV. Great. Great. Yes, because let's have buildings unlock when the game is over. Let's have building unlocks when the game is done. Alright, looks like I need like walls and gates. And I need... Oh, that's it, apparently. How about you? Tin rare earth alloy. That has been requested and it's on its way. This going up to Mark II doubles the number of slots and makes it so that I only need 22 Simic dens for that. But Otaku, what about the regular Simic that you need for this? Shenanigans. Shenanigans will be in play. This tin chromium alloy. Don't know. Is requested there, but not at the mall. So I know it exists on the train network and that it's not coming to my mall, so M10 chromium alloy. SNCR. It's on its way. Cool. That will speed this up, and it will get this going too, since we get a delivery of the tin rare earth alloy as well. Maybe I should consider I5, I4. Get it to be a little bit more productive here. So, what was it specifically that they mentioned about this with the beacons? They said that there's two things that they changed that exceedingly nerf beacons overall. When, God, it's like the stupidest decision they could have ever made to nerf them before fixing the problems that they are supposed to solve. So, they made it so that full-size beacons are ×2 instead of ×5 from diet beacons. So that they nerf them from a 0.5 to a 0.2 multiplier instead of the diet beacons, which are 0.1. And they made it so that there's interference if there's overlap of FM or AM. Something along those lines. There was something involving overlapping of AM, FM signals. So, if I'm not mistaken, my interpretation of that is if you have AM 5, you can only have an FM 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and you cannot have another AM 5. So, if you have AM 5, FM5, you can't have AM5, FM4 because that's another AM signal. And you can only have one FM5. So you can't have then AM4, FM5. You can have 5544332211, which would be the only way that you would have it configured. The only way. So you've taken what was 25 beacons, and you made it only 5. Only ever having 5. Meaning that there's no reason for them to be configurable in the first place. Like, if you're going to have all of these restrictions, why does the mechanic exist? As implemented to like pick which one you want? Like, why should we have to configure them then if there's only really 5 options? Like, honestly, at that point there are only 5 options. Like, if you want there to only be 5 options, that's just make 5 buildings at that point. Just have 5 buildings. Just have us craft 5 things. Then. Like, having us craft 25 things, that's a bit much, yes, but having us craft 5 is an easier pill to swallow. And it makes the programming a lot simpler. If you only want one of each affecting a building, that's a heck of a lot simpler. Like, you have that code now to check if it's one of each. If that's the way you want to play it, that's what you want. I think it's incredibly stupid, but I'm not the one in charge of balance. Bye, sweet. Like, you're making it so that there's fewer overall, and you nerfed them! Great. Great job. Great. Fantastic. You took a problem that was like them not being effective enough and you made them less effective. Wonderful. And yes, they were not effective enough. With the current balance of the game, of the Pi Suite, beacons are not strong enough. And yeah, even though you can get to 65,000 whatever speed, it's not strong enough. It's still not strong enough. Now, yeah, late game. Late game has always been fine. The late game is fine. The issue is getting to late game. Performance at late game is fine because the recipes are fast enough at that point. It's actually okay by then. The issue is getting there. And there's a extreme problem. Mark 1, Mark 2. Until you get beacons, full-size beacons, there's a serious problem. Like, in the file shared by NotNotMelon for the performance, like, guide to help improve performance with the game, optimization guide, NotNotMelon specifically states the performance improves at Pi 3 when you get full-sized beacons. It improves when you get full beacons. And that the worst performance you get is before you get those full-size beacons. Like, not even... So that specifically says is that diet beacons do nothing for performance as they exist. What it says is that they're not good enough to improve your performance overall in your base through your own testing. Your own testing has shown you this. Have you given a thought to the fact that maybe there shouldn't be a problem with the performance of the game because of the scale of the of the speed of the recipes to begin with? Like, have you given any thought that maybe there's a problem fundamentally with the balance of the game leading up to that phase of the game? If the strength of the full-size beacons are necessary to improve the performance of the game by the time that you get them at Pi 3. Maybe there's something more fundamentally flawed that should be addressed before you go about nerfing the fuck out of beacons. Doesn't matter if you can turn those settings off. That doesn't actually matter. It matters that the optics here, you are nerfing a mechanic that exists for a reason before you've fixed the issue that they solve. Now, hopefully, the next expansion to the Pi Suite will introduce fixes for all of these things. Hopefully, everything will be great. But I've learned over time with all the other expansions is that they tend to make the problems worse than better. With each new expansion to the Pi Suite, things just end up actually getting overall worse for performance and scale of things. Alternative energy should have been a way to, like, make things better. Having a whole bunch of new, strong options for power generation. Yeah, that's great. It didn't put a dent in performance. Anyway, where I have this already, Simic, Blood, area. Apparently I have it twice. Lovely. Give me the array. Hopefully I have a Simic on me to start the process. Wouldn't put it past me to not. Well, it's not red, so I know I have some. Somewhere. All right, there's Simic. Cages. Ta-da! You. There's going to be an item that needs shells, which means I will need to put adult Ziffo on the train network, or get the shells on the train network. One or the other. That's coming up. That was on my mind. Yeah, these guys. YBCO, monocrystals, Ebco. We do not need a fluid input here, but we do need a solid fuel source. Voiding. Oh boy. All right. You need to. I need actually the caged version of this, not the uncaged. So I need to adjust this a little bit. Yeah, I need these guys. They are the one that I need to go into the 22 of this building. That's 11. That's half. Do you understand why I don't really like using this building if I don't have to? Can Can you see why? I want to say that I wish the game was capable of handling the current balance of the game of the Pi suite. I wish that the game was capable of handling it without performance issues. I think that yeah, there is definitely an argument to be made for weakening beacons if the game ran at 60 frames by the time you get them. It is a fundamental problem with how the game runs and how the mod has been designed to fit a specific intent, a specific artistic vision for how the scale should be for this mod, that the game, the engine of this game can't handle it. It does not fit what between what is trying to be accomplished and what the game is capable of. These two things don't match all that particularly well. So something somewhere has to give. Either it needs to be balanced around the capabilities of the engine, or you need to make a new engine for the game. Slash, it needs to be its own game. Like that's the current state of things with the Pi suite, honestly. Either the whole thing needs to be rebalanced around the capabilities of the engine of Factorio, or it needs to be made into its own game with an engine capable of handling the intended scale. Like, one of these two things must happen. it is a shame that the game can't handle the intended scale. I like that it has all this stuff, that you can build this much stuff and not even be at the end of the game yet. Like, that is fine, actually, if the game can handle it. The problem is the game can't handle it. I would like for it to be able to handle it. That would be great, but it can't, and that's just the reality of things. Like, you have to build within the realm of the capability of the game. That's pretty fundamental. And there they go, the Simic scales are flowing. About time. If anything is going to be a bottleneck, this would be it. Simic scales are definitely something, a major contender as a late game bottleneck. Simply because of like how big these buildings are, and scaling them is a bitch. And that's independent of my own productivity shenanigans here. Like, just that is a fundamental truth as part of the Pi suite currently. Is Simic scales just suck to scale. Who knew scales suck to scale? Just anything really involving Simics, like their building is just huge, and they don't go fast enough to justify the size. Anyway. Like, size of building is fine as long as the buildings go fast enough to justify the size, which most of the time they don't. All right, next. Metastable quasi-crystals will be next. However, would you look at the time? I wasn't even looking at the time. I've just been going. I've just been going and going. And we're already 5 minutes past the hour. It's time to end the stream now. So, what have we gotten done today? We have built, gosh, so much. So much. We built collagen, hyperelastic material, hyaline, resilin, the optical parametric oscillators, harmonic absorbers, time crystals, fetal serum, Rika protein, growth factor, antivirals, and we have obtained simic scales. Just a whole random bunch of stuff, at least seemingly random bunch of stuff. These lead into metastable quasi-crystals that are one of the bigger, higher impact items, at least more higher effort items to get into beacons, full-sized beacons. That is the goal. I think we should have them next time, unless there's some huge chain that I have forgotten. Cough, cough, simic scales. So unless there's some huge thing that I've missed in my planning, we should get the beacons as soon as we get into the call pole engines here. In fact, I'm going to lower this to fall right underneath, so I know that beacons are as soon as we get into these claw pole engines. And then once that's done, once we get those full-size beacons, at least have the access to the full-size beacons, then we move on towards the stuff directly involved in making PyScience 4, of which the very last thing I do will be perfect samples. So yeah, we'll need the non-conductive phasogen as an actual factory. We'll need ammonium sulfate for MOVA pulp. We'll need MOVA smart farming, meaning we'll need smart farms. Nanozymes, apparently, will be next, followed then by the most perfect of samples. Oh, yeah, and, xeno stuff, xeno eggs for the nanozymes. Yeah, those things are also important. We need xenos too. I know I'm going to forget about that. I am going to forget about the xenos. So I'll probably make that plan immediately after this stream. Add xeno section to the thing. In fact, I'm going to add xeno egg here before nanozyme. Right there, xeno egg. And we'll plan that out. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching today's stream. This has been a Dr. Show, but if you've enjoyed today's stream, do all the social stuff down below the video. I will be back on Tuesday with more. I hope to see you all then.